Just made this little saw shop dolly. Hopefully you like it. Helps me move this heavy saw. Okay, because you found this video, you're probably struggling with the same problem because of the weight and the immobility of the table saw, the miter saw, and some of your other tools. What we're going to do is just show you guys a quick way to build a shop cart or a shop dolly that'll fit the miter saw and the table saw, and make it a lot easier to get in and out of the garage and around your shop, so that you don't have to kill yourself lifting these things up. So the first thing we're going to do is just measure the base. Obviously you can tell the base on the DeWalt table saw is much bigger than the size of the Craftsman miter saw. So just before we head over, I'm just going to get a measurement here so I know how much plywood and other materials we need. Excuse the garage and the mess. My wife and I bought a fixer-upper, and that's the good news is I get to make a video like this or do projects that involve saws like this one because we bought a fixer-upper. So if you can get past the fact that the garage is a fixer-upper garage, the point of this whole video is I googled last week or 2 weeks ago how to make a shop dolly cart or a saw cart for your shop. A miter saw, I have a table saw in the back that I'm going to do a shop cart for as well. But obviously these things are super heavy and awkward, and it's back-breaking to move these from the garage out of the driveway to cut the wood, or from the driveway into the house to do the job. So what I wanted to do is build a cart on some wheels for the miter saw, and then build another one for my table saw, and as I kind of build my collection of tools, go from there. So, to save everyone the time, what I did is kind of come up with an idea in my head, and what we're going to do is find a 3/4 inch piece of plywood, put a nice frame around it that kind of encapsulates the feet of the saw table, and then put some nice heavy-duty caster wheels on the bottom of it, so I can just simply roll it in and roll it back out. So to save, obviously, on the video time and everything, I went to the store and bought the parts and pieces that we need. So luckily I had an old piece of floor that we used, or 3/4 inch plywood that we used the majority of it for a piece of subfloor in our bathroom, but I had this kicking around. This is just perfect for what we need. Went to Lowe's and bought all the carriage bolts and everything that we need for this. We have I got 2x3s, and what we're going to do with these is just use these to build the frame of this. As you can see, they're mitered, so let's zoom in to make sure that everybody can see what's going on. So mitered, 45 degree. Just basically going to build a frame here on a piece of plywood, 3/4 inch. I totally recommend. I wouldn't go 1/2 inch. You'll bow in the middle. So 3/4 inch, 2x3s to build the frame. And the point of the frame here is that the feet of the saw will just fit right in the corner and be pretty sturdy and not move. There's an option to screw these feet down. I haven't decided if I want to do that yet, but that's an option and something that I'm still deciding on. These are pretty heavy duty. The reviews are really good on these. They've got a really nice solid brake on there, so when you're sawing, you can throw the brake on 2 wheels, 3 wheels, or all 4. But otherwise, these should be pretty good. And the whole goal here is we're going to mount these on the bottom. I'm going to put each of these in. I'm thinking 1/2 inch from either edge. That'll give me a good, solid lead when I'm making the drill marks. I don't want to obviously split or risk breaking the plywood here. And that still gives access, you can see, to the brake sticking outside of this of the cart here. So I'm going to go 1/2 inch. I'm going to use a 9/64 bit as a pilot hole, and then I'm actually going to just go with a 1/4 inch bit that matches, which makes sense. The lag bolts. because you want these to drop in. I like a good snug fit, but lag bolts are tough to. You don't want to have you struggling to screw those in. A little bit of a problem getting the lag bolts to pull and lock up into the bottom of your 3/4 inch plywood here. So there's two solutions. One is you do what I did, and I just simply took a DeWalt vise here, which is phenomenal, by the way, and I totally recommend everybody has a couple of these. I simply just took this with a scrap piece of wood, and you can view here. So I essentially just would use this to bite into the head of the lag bolt to get it to grab, and then I could take my ratchet or my drill and get the lock washer or the lock nut to bite. The problem I was having is that the lag bolt, the flat end of the lag bolt, let me just show everybody. The flat end of the lag bolt here was just spinning. So I was having a hard time getting that to bite into the wood, which was solved by the vise and the scrap piece of wood, just holding it, pinching it there for a second while I could get that nut ratcheted around. By putting this frame on here, it's not going to support anything, it's just going to allow the corner leg of the miter saw to drop in there and hold in there, almost like, not necessarily friction fit, but it'll have something to butt up against. So I'm just going to put the last couple of those on, and then we'll show you the finished product. One thing I want to point out to everybody is when you're doing this, definitely be mindful of how close you're putting how close you're screwing in your little frame here, because you definitely don't want to split your wood, which I noticed at the beginning of. So you don't want to split your wood, so you could always drill a pilot hole. Fits for you guys. We'll see in a second, won't we? All right. Pretty good. This is something that I like to do. I have 2 little kids, so when we put those guys down for a nap, I like to kind of try to build little things like this. Good sound, huh? Adjust the camera. See how she works. Perfect. Lock. So these are really nice casters. I like these. I'm impressed. Moment of truth. Now that is a good fit. Saw. Get it in place. Lock it. Probably only need to do a couple wheels. That's not going anywhere. So now you're ready to cut. The other nice thing for a taller guy like myself, I'm 6'1", so this gives me, let's just throw a measure on it. About 5 more inches. So my cutting surface was down here before, so I'm bending down, now I'm much higher.